From broke to baller, no matter if you're on a budget or you have all the money in the world. Today I'm going to show you 5 of the best deals that I found this week at a local gun shop. And my whole idea of this video and what I hope you gain is that you can see that you don't always have to go online to save money on guns. You can find them at local gun shops if A, you have a good shop around you, and B, you do a little bit of searching. There's some really good deals to be had. As a matter of fact, one of the videos that I did here recently was on a $350 SIG that shoots like a freaking dream. So yeah, the deals are out there, man, and I want to show you 5 of the best. Now, most of these are used guns, but you would never know that unless somebody told you, or maybe one of these actually has a little bit of slide wear, but if you can get over that stuff, man, you can really find some screaming deals. If you like this type of content, consider subscribing and hit your notifications. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, like I said, the deals are only going to get better from here. So this first one, you're not going to save a lot, but it's the SD9VE. And so I've never really taken this gun too serious because the M&P series is super popular. And so I have a theory why they still make the SD series. I believe it's because of the lawsuit with Glock where they have to pay Glock a certain amount of money per pistol. That to me is the only thing that makes sense. I don't know that. I could be totally wrong. But regardless, it's not a bad gun. And so this is actually the only new gun on this list. And the local gun shop I go to is Allied Arms, okay? And so I have no affiliation, there's no kickbacks or anything like that. These guys look out for me, and they are an awesome group of people, and so that's why I support them. But I saw that they dropped the price from, $389 to $329. This is the standard stainless version. Stainless slide, black lower, grip angle is kind of pretty much like a Glock. It takes down like a Glock. It's got indexing point for your thumb in the front that are stippled. Nice stipple job on the gun too. Iron sights, just standard white dot sights. It does have the loaded viewport like the M&Ps do. Picatinny rail, comes with 2 16-round magazines, right? And so overall, the sizing on it's pretty good. The weight is like 23 ounces. They do make these with night sights and high-vis sights. And they also make them with their SDT, which is the self-defense trigger installed. And so I guess this one had that, but the trigger is really bad. It's like a heavier, spongier, worse version of the original M&P hinge trigger design, okay? But for like 65 bucks, you can actually get the enhanced version from Apex. And for like $5 more than that, you can get the one that has the dingus in the middle, the little safety lever in the middle, and get rid of the hinge design altogether. Okay, now the M&P, even the original M&Ps, I think are superior to the SD series, but for 329 bucks, it seems like a pretty decent deal for something like a truck gun or maybe your home defense gun, right? And so I've seen people, have really good luck with those guns specifically. Now, if I have a $329 M&P or an SD, same price, I'm taking the M&P. But, M&Ps, especially the M2.0s, which are more prevalent now, it's hard to find those at those prices unless you get a really good used deal. You can find them at those prices, but it's harder to do that. So for 329 bucks, I think it's pretty decent. I looked these things up and they vary, 275 up to 350, and I even saw some up towards $400, which I can't imagine, some of those places online ever selling those guns. And so you have to be really careful about where you go online, where you may think, oh man, I'm online, I'm going to save a bunch of money. That's not necessarily true. And again, that's a part of why I'm doing this video. So 329 bucks ain't the best deal. It only gets better from here, but the SD series is one, if you put a little bit into, you can get a lot out of that gun. Next one we're going to talk about is the P365 XL. This comes with the day-night sights, okay, that bright green dot in the front, tritium in the rear, blacked out rear sights actually, and so this is one of the best carry guns on the market, okay, and I really like the XL. It's the same size as the one I'm holding here. This is the Spectre Comp, which is more expensive than the XL, but again, it's the same size. And so if you don't like how small the original P365 is, the XL gives you 2 more rounds, and it is way more comfortable in the hand, dude. This is one of the best feeling guns I've ever shot, right? And so in the size range anyways, man, it feels good. It points really naturally, and the XL, you know, offers you a gun that is optics ready, flat face trigger, 12 round mags. It actually comes with 2 of those, and it is interchangeable with the X Macro, so you can get the larger magazines that will fit in this gun as well. You can get Tulster holsters for these things. I'll leave a link down below to those. I know a lot of new people have joined our channel, man, so if you're familiar with me, you know what kind of holster I use, but I'm gonna have to do an update on that because I'm getting a lot of questions about holsters, and so there's primarily one company I use. That's Tulster Holster. I'll leave a link down below. But you get yourself a Tulster for these, Profile or the Oath holster, and dude, you're talking about one awesome setup. Even has their proprietary rail, so you can put lights, lasers, or whatever you want to on there. Claim to fame on the P365, they kind of started this whole higher capacity Micro 9 segments, right? They even have the SAS version and all of that. Price on this thing, what I seen online, pretty insane. Like, I saw some for like $529. I saw others for $600. I saw others ranging up to like $800 with the, you know, a crappy little holster and one of the Sig Romeo optics, which are not worth the money. Okay, so I would stay away from those, right? And so if we use, you know, let's just say between $530 and $600, we just say $560 or $575. This one in the shop was actually $450. So that's a pretty good deal, man. You're gonna save yourself $100, and their used guns, you actually don't pay any tax on. You gotta pay them, you know, cash, right? And a lot of times you can wheel and deal. So maybe we could get that closer to $400, who knows? But even regardless, at $450, you can save yourself anywhere from $100 to $150, and that gun was in excellent condition. I saw very little holster wear or anything like that on the gun. Next one we're going to talk about, I recently did a 7 must-have video. I'll leave a card up here for y'all so you can check that out after this video. And one of the must-have guns I talked about was the CZ Shadow 2. And then I talked about either a CZ clone or a CZ75B, the original, depending on what kind of deal you can get on these things, right? This one is a SAR 2000, so it is a clone, and you're talking about one of the best shooting double to single action guns that I've ever put into my hands. Not only that, one of the most comfortable guns when it comes to the way this gun points, shoots. It's incredible. I see why there's so many fans of CZ, especially with my Shadow 2. I absolutely love that thing, right? But those things are very expensive. So I found this CZ75 in the shop. The claim to fame on this gun is the internal rails. So you'll notice like the slide on this gun is really small compared to other guns, right? And so it's got a low bore axis and all that. Well, because the slide rides on the inside of the rails and not on top of the rails like traditional guns just like this, you're able to get a flatter shooting gun. Now this one's an alloy frame and all that, so it's a little bit lighter than like the Shadow 2, which is all steel. But hammer-fired gun, shoots really freaking amazing. You can get magazines for these things. You can get all kinds of things for the CZ75 series or some of the clones, but the one I found in the shop is a nice example, and the price on these things, you know, close to $700 in some cases. I found some used ones for like $600. Well, they want $425 on this gun. Again, no tax. So boom, there you go. That is a screaming deal on an original CZ75. And again, like I said in that must-have video, if you are going to find a clone like the SAR 2000 for a screaming deal, this I think is perfectly acceptable. But if you can find an original CZ75 for that price or lower, go with the original CZ75. That gun feels so good in the hand, and I was about this close from actually buying that gun because it really is a beautiful example. I passed up on it, and I will inevitably regret that decision. But these are fantastic guns. If you don't own a CZ75 and you want one of the best double to single action shooting firearms, this is the way to go. Next one we're going to talk about, the FN 509. The one I'm showing you in the shop that I found was the midsize MRD version. It obviously comes optics ready. That one comes with the HS407A3, I believe, and the Streamlight TLR1 HL Lite. 15 round mags on that version. I actually have one of the 509 tacticals, so although it's not the tactical with the threaded barrel, it still has the higher night sights and the ability to add your optic. And overall, with the front and rear slide serrations, you have the full size 1913 style Picatinny rail, fully ambidextrous gun as well, slide stop and your magazine release. Interchangeable with the larger magazines if you have the sleeve to go with it. You know, the biggest issue I have with this gun is the trigger. I just wish they would update it. It's just like the old FNS 9C I used to have back in the day. I reviewed that gun a long time ago, man. I've since gotten rid of it, but with a better trigger, this thing is a freaking tank, man, and FN is one of the most respected companies out there. And so the MRD version that we're looking at here has an MSRP of like 834 bucks, right? Which typically, you know, mid fives, upper fives, sometimes some places over $700, which is just insanity. And then you have your Holosun, 180 bucks. You have your Streamlight, $130. So overall, looking at $850 to $900. This deal right here, 650 bucks. Comes with all that stuff. So that's a pretty screaming deal. And again, there's always a little bit of wheeling and dealing you can do on used guns. So that's pretty awesome, man. For that gun and that setup, I think that is a screaming deal. But that has nothing on our best deal that I found, and this is going to be for the ballers, but depending on your budget, maybe this one will fit in here. This is a Kimber Eclipse 2. This one specifically is the 2005 NRA edition. Okay, it's got the NRA grips, stainless steel slide. It's got the mixture of course, the stainless and black look to it, 5-inch barrel, Novak style sights, skeletonized trigger and hammer, and overall a very sexy gun. I don't know too many people that are arguing that. I mean, this thing is objectively looks good. And I'm not the biggest Kimber fan, don't get me wrong, but this is a good deal, man. I found most of these, right, the Eclipse 2, somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, 1,300. I saw some for like 12, mid-12s, you know, and that's typically what I saw. This one was on sale, price drop, by the way, from $950 to $825. And so that's a screaming deal. You could save hundreds of dollars. It's pretty freaking awesome, man. So that's just what I found this past week. Now, if you like this type of video, maybe you'll like one of the other ones. If you want to join our community, man, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button down below and hit your notifications so you never miss a video from me. You can also join the channel and join us on Patreon if you want to get some of those perks as well. Big thanks to you guys. I'll see you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.